There's a lot of questions going on right now about what Microsoft can do, what Sony can do, how can Sony respond to Microsoft, and what will Microsoft's next moves be? Because obviously money doesn't seem to be an object for Microsoft, and they're going to continue to do things like this. And it's not, I don't think, necessarily to hurt Sony. I think it's more along the lines of they're trying to do some of these things in order to not allow Google, not allow Amazon, not allow some of these other companies to go out there and, beat them to the punch. And I find that to be a very smart move by them. And I also think that, obviously that's going to, get some people kind of ticked off in the long run, because they don't want to see that, They look at it as just a purely negative thing. For me personally, I don't look at it as a negative thing. I don't look at it as like this hugely awful thing. I think, I would rather have Microsoft own some of these companies than, say, Tencent. Right? It's just like I would rather have Sony own some of these companies rather than like Tencent or whatever. And like it or not, folks, we are in a very, very new age in gaming. And unfortunately, some people aren't going to like it. I know it's weird and it's sort of a change and things like that, but it's just going to get weirder. Trust me when I say that, because you have companies going sort of in opposite direction. There's still enough piece of the pie there for Sony to kind of stay on top in terms of console sales and stuff like that. But Microsoft is obviously doing their own thing and able to kind of have resources and stuff. They're being the behemoth that, we all kind of asked them to be years ago. They're a little late to the party. But, in theory, is this something right now that Sony can do that would help the PlayStation 5's fortunes long term? This is going to be an interesting video for sure. Hey, I'm the Crap Gamer, and of course this is Crap Gamer Reviews, your home for gaming news, opinions, reviews, and much more. You'll probably notice some changes around here, but hopefully that doesn't stop you from giving us a like and possibly even consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. Thank you so much for choosing to spend some of your free time with me today. It means the world. And yes, a simple like is all you have to do, right? Like, that's all I'm asking for. A simple like helps out the channel, gets stuff seen, helps with all that kind of stuff, and just means a lot to me. I put a lot of work and effort into doing these daily videos, and you guys can help out tremendously if you did that. Now, a lot of people are under the impression actually that, for Sony to get Activision games like Call of Duty or what have you, that they would have to end up, I guess the best way that I could put this is putting Game Pass on PlayStation. And some people think that that's what's going to happen. Like, oh, well, they'll allow Call of Duty if Sony were to allow Game Pass. Now, to me, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. In terms of, are they actually allowing this to happen? To me, it doesn't make a lot of sense for Sony to do that for multiple reasons that I'm going to get into. But there was something of an article that came up that I wanted to talk about. So it's not really clear what the future holds for Activision Blizzard when it comes to Call of Duty and PlayStation, as Sony's alluded to Microsoft's honoring existing contracts. But there's no word on how long those will last. And meanwhile, Xbox chief Phil Spencer has expressed a desire to keep the franchise on PlayStation, but it could be interpreted in a dozen different ways. And we were talking about this on Crossfire, which was a lot of people took it like I took it as they really have a desire to keep it on PlayStation, because PlayStation is a huge part of the Call of Duty crowd. Like, I don't know how better to sort of express that, but honestly, it just is the truth. They're the Call of Duty, like that's the Call of Duty crowd. They're the ones out there trying to, appeal to a group of people that spend so much money and have so many active players on the game. I think that's just something that honestly people tend to forget. Like a game like Call of Duty, the number one selling game every single year. Right, it's pretty, except for like I guess when Grand Theft Auto came out, but again, this is just something that I think people really kind of forget, and just how amazing and how well Call of Duty sells on PlayStation. In fact, and this isn't a knock on Xbox, but PlayStation's the only platform where you can play Call of Duty and not have to do crossplay enabled. right? They have enough players to play against, players on other PlayStations. And when you play on PC, when you play on Xbox, that's not the case. You have to have crossplay enabled. And why would you take away that? I don't really know. But, again, this is something that obviously a lot of people are saying, well, Microsoft's Game Pass can come to PS5. But is that even possible? It's probably important to stress that the likelihood is extremely low, even according to this article that I'm reading and I'm going to link. Considering how often we've seen the suggestion pop up, however, it might be worth kind of letting everybody know, exploring the through exercise. Remember, the industry has changed beyond recognition in the past 5 to 10 years, where we now even have crossplay between console, and it's fairly common. Sony's releasing flagship franchises like God of War on PC. Furthermore, you can already log into Xbox Live through Minecraft on PlayStation. So all these things seem to similarly pop up didn't pop up until recently, so you never know. The problem is that PlayStation's entire business model is founded on software royalties. It's a risky business that Sony's in, but the rewards are enormous, and the company spends obscene amounts of money on researching, designing, manufacturing, selling, and of course, obviously, that's the crucial aspect of this. Crucial marketing hardware like the PlayStation 5 has razor thin margins. So in order then to make the big bucks on third-party games, accessories, and microtransactions and subscriptions like PlayStation Plus, that's basically the console model. So allowing a competitor's service onto its system could seriously undermine its own business, because if a substantial number of PlayStation players subscribe to it, it would undermine their own services, and effectively, basically, you're in a situation where you would be in kind of undermining and making your product seem worse. So theoretically argue that is exactly what happens in, say, like the iOS ecosystem, where Netflix and Disney Plus coexist alongside Apple. But this isn't like a like-for-like comparison. After all, any games included on a hypothetical Xbox Game Pass on PlayStation would have to be ported to the PS5 and PS4 in order to run. So it's nowhere near as straightforward as streaming a video file, and it's pretty, we suppose a limited cloud-based version running on Microsoft's xCloud could be potentially more feasible, but wouldn't be as attractive to fans, since obviously fans don't flock to, anything that's streaming related, really. It's very interesting. Like, for me, I just think that, I don't see it happen. I don't see it happening. Just to be 100% honest, if it were to happen, I feel like, I just feel like if it were to happen, it would be the end of gaming, kind of as we know it. And it would and I know fans don't want to hear me say this, but it would possibly be the end of Xbox consoles as we know it, because literally it would be no reason to buy one if you can play all the Xbox exclusives on PlayStation, right? You don't need people that buy both platforms would no longer need to buy both platforms, and I think that's the part that that people kind of forget or whatever, right? Like, at the point where you don't need both platforms, it's a very risky thing to do, and maybe that's what Microsoft wants. But if that's what Microsoft wants, then why not just go ahead and go, full third party to begin with, right? If you want to release your games for sale anyway, because isn't the whole idea of Game Pass that you have multiple options still? You can buy the game, or you can, rent the game. Basically, it's just saying that there's a rental service that you can have on, on the service, right? Like, you wouldn't have the option to buy Halo Infinite on PlayStation, and I think that is kind of crappy, right? That, I think that could be a huge reason why we wouldn't see this happen, is because, like, on Xbox, yes, these things leave, but you can buy them. But on when it comes to like a Game Pass service on PlayStation, you wouldn't really have that option, in my opinion. Like, I don't think and if they would, then just go third party. Like that, it clears up everything. But what do you guys think about this? What do you guys think about the possibility? What do you guys think about how all this stuff is going, how people are kind of talking about it? Let me know what you think. Sound off, rate, come, subscribe. Rack 'em up. Fact 'em up, my friends. Crapgamer 'em up. Crapgamer out.